Let's go. Karrion Kross is back in NXT. We saw the video package for it at TakeOver War Games. We didn't quite know when Big Karrion would be making his presence felt on the black and gold brand, but here tonight on the TakeOver post-show, technically, or the NXT after TakeOver, Karrion Kross made his return. I love the way they did this because the whole segment they were doing in the middle of the show where we had Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Austin Theory, and Indy Hartwell in the ring cutting their promo, their tag team faction thing now called The Way. So Johnny Gargano's stable is called The Way. Rightio. And then they do that segment. It's a bit meh. And then we have Damian Priest come out. Damian Priest is such a beast. Damian Priest came out and basically said he'd shoved the microphone that Gargano's holding, the pipe that was used against him at TakeOver, he'd shoved that where it doesn't shine, so that was great. Then we have Karrion Kross ambush Damian Priest from behind. Big Karrion takes Damian Priest to work, slams him into the barricade a little bit, power bombs him on the side of the stage, then proceeds to storm out. I love the camera angle for this. The camera angle's like right in front of Karrion Kross. He's in this like leather jacket, in the black, like all black attire, storms out into this car that's parked outside the arena. Scarlett Bordeaux is sitting in the passenger's seat wearing what she was wearing earlier in the show. Karrion Kross gets in the car, speeds away, and we go to commercial. That whole thing was just fantastic. Karrion Kross being back in NXT is absolutely great, and if you don't think so, I don't really know what to tell you, because just in general, when it comes to NXT, for the past month, with the exception of last week's NXT episode, because it was a bit of a dead go-home show, outside of that, NXT, by and large, has been really good. It's had momentum, it's had direction in the past month, there's been things to care about, they're more so building towards stuff, feels like there's more of a direction. Because as much as the diehard NXT fanboys on wrestling Twitter will deny this vehemently, NXT from about March through, I dare say, October, every week there'd be maybe one thing that'd be worth tuning in for, be that Pat McAfee, be that Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, but that'd literally be it. That was the kind of thing NXT was dealing with for 6 months, but now it feels like NXT is almost basically back to where it was in November and December last year, which is a good thing, because yes, NXT doesn't have the crowd back, they don't have Full Sail University. It's a bit of an L that they don't have that back just yet. What they're doing at the moment with NXT, the setup still feels a bit off. I don't know, they're trying their best to make best of the pandemic, but what they're doing at the moment, and what they're doing at the shows now, and tonight's show, I thought was good. It made for a decent, enjoyable viewing experience. I thought how they opened this show was really damn good. You see it on screen, who should be Finn Balor's next challenger? So we got this really good opening segment where Finn Balor came out to the ring. He starts cutting a promo. Then we get Pete Dunne coming out and stating his claim as to why he should be number one contender for Balor. Then we have Kyle O'Reilly come out, and Kyle O'Reilly says, "Look, I may have lost at TakeOver 31, but because of me, you were drinking through a straw for 2 months, so I deserve another title match," which, can't argue with that. That was good. Damian Priest got involved as well, so there was Priest. And then Scarlett Bordeaux at the end of the segment, we had Kross's music hit. Scarlett did a circle around Balor. Then Balor was like, "Look, I know your boy wants to fight me. I'm down to fight him." So Balor and Kross potentially. Look, NXT's title picture, there's a lot of really good stuff going on, so it's really cool to see. Personally, I saw the idea raised on wrestling Twitter of potentially an elimination chamber. I know they're not going to do this, but hypothetically, a bit of fantasy booking for a second. Imagine how cool an elimination chamber would be. Just have Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, do Tommaso Ciampa, you can do Damian Priest, Karrion Kross, and I don't know, you can throw Dexter Lumis in there. Have an elimination chamber, number one contenders match, and winner faces Balor. That way, you can do a big match. I think having that match at this New Year's Evil show would be sick. Now, based off the direction they're going with the Kross and Priest thing, I'm down with Kross vs. Priest main eventing New Year's Evil. I'm completely cool with that. That match would be just phenomenal. Karrion Kross being back in NXT, Damian Priest, that's just sick. Kross vs. Priest, that sounds amazing. So hopefully we get that. Karrion Kross should win. Like, he should have a really, like, tough, like, physical, like, 10 to 15 minute match with Priest, really putting Priest over, and then Kross gets the win in the end. Then we can move on to Kross versus Balor, the NXT Championship. Karrion Kross can destroy Finn Balor in like 4 minutes and win the title. So that's what they should do. That's what makes the most logical sense. I think it would be sick if they did that. And really, NXT's main event picture is back on track. As for the rest of this show, the women's division in NXT, once again, that's just doing what it's doing. Basically, we had the main event of Ember Moon versus Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel coming off pinning Io Shirai at the War Games match at TakeOver. Now, Raquel Gonzalez is clearly getting pushed. Like, she had a really strong showing in this match. It was Ember Moon. I think just the match itself was good. If you didn't see Moon versus Gonzalez, I mean, you're not going to really miss much if you don't see it, but it's more so what they're doing with the women's division, because earlier in the show, we had this backstage segment where Toni Storm was interviewed. Toni Storm was like, look, she was on the winning War Games team. She knows what to do. You know, she's coming for the NXT Women's Championship. That's why she's here. Io Shirai walked over and says that she doesn't have like a real issue with Toni Storm, but she doesn't like her. So they started brawling. Ember Moon got involved and started punching Toni Storm. Really good women's division, as usual, of NXT. So I thought that was good. And then as far as other things on this show, we had tag teams. We had the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Imperium versus Everrise in like a triple threat tag team match. Was it Breezango? I forget, but there was a triple threat tag team match. That was good. It shows that the tag team division is getting built up. The tag team division's actually doing something and going places. So I enjoyed that with the tag teams. And really, we also got Pete Dunne defeating Killian Dane. So overall, NXT, I really enjoyed what they were doing tonight. I think, and this version of NXT is what they need to keep doing. This main event picture, there's a reason to care, because for the past like few months, ever since Karrion Kross got injured, NXT's had no main event picture, because from like June through August, we had Lee vs. Kross, which was absolutely must see. But because Karrion Kross got injured, then they did that whole fatal 4-way 60-minute Iron Man thing. Balor won the title. We had 2 weeks of build before the match with Kyle O'Reilly. And I was watching that thinking, what is this? And then they had Balor and O'Reilly, which was an amazing in-ring match. But, I mean, I didn't really care as much as I probably should have. Balor got injured. He was out for 2 months. So now you had really no main event champion on the show. War Games felt lacking because there was no NXT champion. Now the main event picture is really coming together. You've got Damian Priest, Karrion Kross. Hopefully they have their match in New Year's Evil. But Finn Balor potentially having a match with maybe Pete Dunne at New Year's Evil. I think that'd be sick. Balor vs. Dunne. That sounds really good. So yeah, NXT's just doing really well, and I mean, I guess I'll probably get out of here now. So comment down below what you thought of NXT for this week. Personally, I really enjoyed it. The Wednesday Night War shows this week were both really good. Both shows are back on track because they're off the rails for a little bit, like at various points in 2020. So both shows are back on track. If you didn't see NXT, go check out the Karrion Kross stuff, the stuff with the opening segment and the main event. Like, comment, subscribe, and drill. See ya.